Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So there is, of course, Prey out now. It's been out for a little while now, I think. It's done very well, actually. It's record-breaking on Hulu. And in the credit sequence, there is an animation which tells the movie and then teases a sequel. I think what's refreshing about this film is it is a one-and-done film. It does tease something moving forwards in those credit sequence, and it does tie to Predator 2 with the pistol. So obviously there's something in between that which happens, which means that that pistol goes into a Predator's custody, as it were. So there is definitely sequel potential. And as with most films, I don't agree with this, by the way, but as with most films, a studio wants to know if there's a direction to go in, if it's successful. And filmmakers want to know a direction to go in, because they can capitalise on the studio's success with a film and then make more money from the studio. So it makes sense. Now, this film was pitched as a one-and-done film, but there's very clearly an idea for a sequel. We all know it if we've seen it. Now, I'm not here to talk about the quality of the film. I know people don't like it. I like it. Whatever. But what I am here to talk about is the potential sequels going forward, direct from the director himself. So he's been doing some interviews, obviously, because I don't even think he expected this to do as well as it did. I didn't expect it to do as well as it's been doing, to be honest. I thought this would just be, I don't know, just forgotten pretty briefly. But I was wrong. Prey director Dan Trachtenberg reveals how far ahead he's planned. And this I don't like. The rebooted Predator franchise? It's not rebooted. This isn't reboot. It's tied directly to the second film. There's no reboot here. I really take issue with these fucking websites, excuse my language, using this buzzword to get people to click on articles. It's not a reboot. It is connected directly to the second film. People have got to stop. So let's take a look. Again, it's done massively well. Hulu, it's their biggest premiere ever. Now, the expectation is that we'll get a sequel announcement from Hulu very soon. And you know what? I think we probably will. I can't imagine we're not going to. It's done too well for them not to capitalise on that. And there seems to be... And you know what? I don't like the fact that the franchise is now just on streaming. I hate that. But it definitely has seemingly rekindled the studio's ability to take some risk, right? This is not getting bigger and better. This is going completely back to basics, which a studio would think is probably a risk. Hence why they just chucked it on Hulu rather than release it in theatres. They thought this was a risk. So, yeah. But anyway, if you pay close attention during the end credits, you'll have noticed the apparent sequel tease with several Predator ships arriving on Earth and taking aim at Nari's tribe. Now, loads of people are like, it's teasing all-out war. I don't think so. And an all-out war would be a bit shit anyway. I don't think that's going to be fun. They did do an all-out war in Predator Concrete Jungle, which was actually, like, it had Dutch's brother working as a detective. It's quite similar to Predator 2 in some ways, but not. And there was all-out war, and there was basically a Predator invasion in that comic book, which loads of people seem to take umbrage, and I've been going backwards and forwards with a subscriber, and I'm not calling you out, but loads of people are like, they're wrecking canon because of the pistol. It was never canon. It was never lore. Never. There are some really good things from the comics, and that was a good thing from the comic, and should they have kept it? Yeah, they should have kept it, but it's not canon. Some of the things from the comics are definitely not canon. You want to see what the original engineer looked like? Like a fucking elephant man. Literally an elephant man. There's so much from the comics that are good, bad. It's not all canon. Not all canon at all. And you gotta start getting over that fact. You can sit there and say, I wish they'd kept this. I wish they had put this into canon. That's what you should be thinking. Not, they've broken canon. Because they haven't. But yeah, All Out War, I don't like the sound of. I think that sounds crap. The nerd in me looked that far ahead as far as he could before we started writing this movie, but the adult in me said, don't count your chickens and just be careful. Try and make the best movie possible straight away. This is Dan Trachtenberg, and I think he did. for what he was able to do. End credit sequence aside, there is something refreshing about seeing a movie that is not really intended to be just part of one to something. Part one to something else, which makes sense. I am very much sick of Marvel movies being an advert for their sequel. Like I really am sick of it. I want to watch a complete story that is good enough that makes you want to watch another one. Like John Wick, for instance, was exactly that. That was a fantastic film where you go, yeah, fuck me, I'd love to see another one. There's something nice about seeing a complete thought. On the complete other hand, I love that what we would have been a post-credit scene in other movies is an animated end title sequence in our movie. Our end titles are still storytelling, and they are. Now this is the other thing he addresses moving forwards, right, with respect to the sequel and how he pitched these films. So Prey was in my initial pitch for the movie. They were making the Shane Black movie, The Predator, that I assumed was intended to be a franchise starter, a trilogy perhaps, or what have you. So I knew the only way that they would agree to making this other kind of Predator movie is if I pitched it as what Rogue One or Solo are to the Star Wars franchises. So Prey would also be this other thing, and the title really suggests that it's sort of a mirror to the main franchise. So that was in the initial pitch, and then I started pitching other titles. But everyone really fell in love with Prey, and I think it works so well because it has the exact same double meaning that Predator has, which it does. So, I mean, look, there is clearly a sequel planned. It looks like they've essentially written the next movie. You know, we looked that far ahead, as far as they could look. So they've definitely gone forward with it. That end title is definitely a tease. I really hope it's not All Out War, but nonetheless, remains to be seen. I like Trachtenberg. I think he's a good director. And I'll be keen to see where they go with this. So let me know what you guys think down below. Cheers, ladies and gents. Take care. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.